Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. We are going to talk about John Daniel Singleton. R.I.P. Rest in power. He passed away Monday in the hospital. They pulled the plug on John Singleton. He was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. I reported on both stories about him having a stroke and then him going into a coma. And I will actually leave the link below in the description box so you guys can check out the information of what was going on in John Singleton's life before he passed on and he descended to a higher place. And we just lift him up in prayer, and we lift him up to decide wherever he wants to go, wherever he wants to be, and he's at peace, he's at rest, his mind is at ease, and his soul is wherever he decided it to go. Rest in peace, rest in power, John Daniel Singleton. He was absolutely wonderful. He was a great film director, screenwriter, producer. He just elevated so many different actors and actresses that we see today. He catapulted their career to the top where we see them as A-listers now. And they started with John Singleton in the 90s, and some started with him in the 2000s too as well. But he was absolutely magnificent. He showed rappers in a different light. He had them on film, behind the camera, and actually was able to show their skills, their insight, their stories, and make them human, like Ice Cube, coming from NWA, F the Police, and now Ice Cube is a phenomenal actor, rapper, and he's an icon too as well, just like Tupac Shakur is an icon. He went from Juice and to Poetic Justice, and then in Poetic Justice, you've seen the soft side, you've seen the Karen side, you've seen the actor side of Tupac Shakur that made him more humanized to America, because people thought he was the enemy because he was screaming Black Power, baby. ADOS in the building, reparations all day. So we have that situation, and he helped them decide that they don't only have to do music to make it. They can actually get into film. They can actually act. And that's what they did with Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes, Tupac Shakur, and many more actors and actresses that, John Singleton has elevated them to be A-listers and icons that we see today. John Singleton was the first film director, screenwriter, and producer best known for directing Boys in the Hood in 1991, which he was nominated for Academy Award for the Best Director, becoming at the age of 24, the first African American and youngest person to ever have been nominated for Academy Award. Now that says something. That says that OMG, that he was here to stay, and he was going to make his mark in Hollywood, and he was going to tell the story of our people, of what we go through, what we face, and what people think about us. And if they actually knew us and actually understood where we came from, they would know. So he did a lot, especially with the Michael Jackson video, Remember the Times. People was kings, goddesses, they were emperors, they ruled, they had land, they had kingdoms, they was rich. Michael Jackson turned to dust. You had Magic Johnson, you had Eddie Murphy, and everybody else in that video too as well. And when you watch the video, Remember the Times, you can actually visualize that our people were rulers, kings and queens, and they had their own army, they had their own land, they had their own knowledge, and they had power, they had magic, they had everything. And so for him to put that in a video form and touch us and let us know our history, because a lot of us don't know our history. And that video, was very important too as well. And that's my favorite Michael Jackson video, is Remember the Times. Just absolutely catapulted everybody in that video to the top, even though they were standing next to Michael Jackson. And then Michael Jackson having the trust to put into John Singleton. And he was young at the time, but he had a lot under his belt at the time too as well. And also, John Singleton, Poetic Justice, 1993. I love Poetic Justice. That was just like, one of my favorite movies. My favorite people, Tupac Shakur, was in the movie. That's my ace boo coon, Tupac Shakur. You had Janet Jackson. You had just everybody in the movie Poetic Justice. And it made you just say, damn, Tupac's a postman. He loves kids. He wants to protect the little girl. So it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing movie, Poetic Justice, and Boys in the Hood. Poetic Justice, Boys in the Hood, are one of, Black community most popular movies that we love and we have seen over and over. And it was just so great to see how he put everything together. He made you think that you was there in Boys in the Hood, about the police, the gang violence, everything, not having a father or being a single parent, trying to have dreams and goals, and then somebody shoot you down in the streets. And that's what Boys in the Hood was about too as well. And, not being the favorite kid, not, you know what I'm saying? Not being your mom's favorite, not being your father's favorite. So, Boys in the Hood was like one of the greatest movies ever made, and it will go down in history as the classic, and it is a classic. So is Poetic Justice. Higher Learning was another excellent movie. Like, he just made you think about college, what goes on in college, the hate, the envy, and things that you don't suspect that could happen to you while you're on the college campus, and how there are terrorists and things like that. So, Higher Learning to me was a great movie as well. And if you watch Higher Learning and you see what's going on today, it's almost mirroring what's going on today. Baby Boy was an excellent movie with Tyrese and everybody in that movie too. That movie was just like Baby Boy. Everybody was imitating Baby Boy, Snoop Dogg, and everybody in that movie. Baby Boy was a great movie. It came out in 2001. That movie was, that movie was great. Rosewood, 1997. That was a great movie too as well. It made you cry. It made you think. It made you understand what the world was about and what you was going through. But to be proud and stay together as a family too as well, and support each other. And Shaft came out in 2000. And you had, Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson's like number one. And that was a great movie too as well. Shaft was wonderful. My mom loved Shaft. Too Fast, Too Furious came out in 2003, and he directed that movie too. He directed all these movies. And Too Fast, Too Furious 2003 was one of my favorite Too Fast and Too Furious movies. It was just great. And Four Brothers came out in 2005. That was great. That was really a great TV show. And then it became, it was a movie first, and then it became a TV show. It was just so great. And then, he also has this movie called Snowfall that I do review, and I love Snowfall. Snowfall has you believing and thinking that you was there in the 80s, and then he explained the government. He explained, how the government brought the drugs over, how the drugs got into the Black community, how life ain't fair for Black youth, how hard it is. And look at all the Black people in that movie. He put on so many different African Americans, Caucasians, and Latinos too as well. Like, he worked hard. He had a vision. He had a creative mind. Like, you can't stop something like that. And he didn't let anything get in his way, and he kept going. And the odds was against him, but you know what, he didn't give up. He just kept going, and he just wonderful movies. Abduction, that was a good movie. Hustle and Flow, the actors in Hustle and Flow got an Academy Award, you know what I mean? And also 3 6 Mafia too as well. And John Singleton was behind Hustle and Flow, so he was working along with 3 6 Mafia, and 3 6 Mafia end up having a show on MTV, and now they're icons too as well. And they got into the reality TV industry too as well. And all these movies that I'm mentioning, they all had soundtracks. They had great soundtracks where it put so many different people on, and you listen to different music where, people that watched the movie loved the movie and wanted the soundtrack, because the music with the movies was excellent, was great too as well. And that put on new artists, that put on new R&B singers, new soul singers, new rappers, and also jazz singers too as well. So, and jazz musicians too as well. So it's John Singleton touched so many different people. He touched me. He touched my household. He touched my family. We sat down together and we watched movies together. We bonded together. I bonded with my friends in the neighborhood when we went outside and we talked about watching Baby Boy, Too Fast, Too Furious, Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Shaft, Abduction, Hustle and Flow. Like, we spent time together watching movies that actually elevated you and made you think and actually felt like you was there, like you was part of the movie. And this is the authentic of his writing. His writing was unique. It wasn't something that you could say, oh, this is a fraud movie, or oh, I can guess what's going to happen, or this is a low budget movie, or this and that. No, it was mysterious. It kept you on. It had sequence. It had suspense. It had mystery and a little bit of violence too as well, and history inside too as well. He was also working on Snowfall, and after Snowfall, but before Snowfall, he was working on Rebel. Rebel is another TV show that he was actually recently working on, and it's actually on BET, and he put them young actors on that some of us don't even know now. Even Method Man was in Rebel. He's in Rebel, the TV show that's on BET. So, and then you have D. Ray Davis. He's actually, and then all like some of the actors from The Wire is actually on Snowfall too as well. So he keeps elevating people and putting people on and letting them show their skills so they can get jobs, so they can be recognized, because not too many movies want to put black faces in as a main character. You know what I'm saying? And John Singleton put these actors out there in his movies, and it was so effective that they end up getting more jobs, and you could not deny. And he also worked on Badass that came out in 2003. He worked on Beverly Hills Cop that came out in 2004. In 1994. And the Michael Jackson video altogether, the Michelangelo, documentary and video. He worked on 8 Mile too in 2002. He worked on Luke Cage too as well. Produced, writing, and actually just being behind the production so it can get done, because people have faith and believed in him. And no matter how racist you are, no matter if you don't want to give a black man credit, Hollywood cannot deny John Singleton, because the black community came out in droves. Like, we went to the movies. We didn't even want to watch it on bootleg. And the only reason why people got it on bootleg is so they can just have it in the house. But we went to the movies to see John Singleton movies. We went to the movies. We wanted to support John Singleton. Everybody that I knew, and it was just like just reminiscing, or just chilling, back in 2000, and you watching, Boys in the Hood, and you chilling, just having a good time and reminiscing. And he gave us so much to reminisce and think about, and also know and gave the insight that you can act to rappers, to R&B singers, to black women, to black men, to black children. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, he was married to a black woman too as well, with all the fame and success and everything that he has, and being in Hollywood, having a Hollywood star, and being on top, and people praising him. Sometimes, you don't see black icons with black women a lot, but he was married to a black woman. So that's black love all day. That's Remy Ma and Papoose today. Jay-Z and Beyonce, baby. And the rest of them keep going. And there is a TV show called Black Love. You got to check that out too as well. So John Singleton did a lot. And, he also considered purchasing a computer science school to enroll children into the program at USC, and to have film writing and things like that he wanted to do for African Americans, so they can actually be a part of the industry too as well, because there's not too many black directors that actually get the fame and the fortune, and people recognize and put them up there where they belong, because they actually put into the work. And he actually wasn't a coon at all. So that was actually excellent too as well. He really did so much, with Angela Bassett, Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne. He got an award for the best original screenplay and best director, nominated for that at the age of 24. That's very young, and no one has ever done that. He worked along with Lee Daniels, Barry Jenkins, Jordan Peele, Spike Lee, so many different people he worked with, and it was just like, damn. And he also directed and led to the VFX driven Remember the Times. The video was just excellent. He just did so much that Michael Jackson trusts him too as well. I was just like, yo, you can't talk about producing films, being a screenwriter, a film director without mentioning John Singleton. And all the people that starred in his movie or had a role in his movie went on to have successful careers. I mean, successful careers where most of the people are still on TV too as well. And he worked on TV shows as Empire. He worked on Empire. He worked on, and he also worked with, Morgan Creek production too as well. He stepped down from that too as well. But, he worked on American Crime Story, and he served as producer of Rebel. I told you guys, Rebel is actually a really good movie, and I can't believe, I don't know what's going to happen to Snowfall, and I know John Singleton and his family, not John Singleton per se, but his daughter and his wife and the mother are basically at odds about a lot of different things. But that's what happens when people die, and they die with money. Things just go crazy. People just, sometimes to fight and be mad and be upset at each other is better than dealing with the pain. He worked with so many people: Tyra Banks, Angela Bassett, Don Cheadle, Morris Chestnut, Snoop Dogg, Omar Epps, Tyrese, Omar Gooding. He worked with Cole. He worked with Taraji. He worked with Jackson Isaac, Janet Jackson, Samuel Jackson, Regina King, Taylor Luthen, Nia Long, Ludacris, Lori Pretty, Q-Tip, Michael Rappaport, Busta Rhymes, Christy Sansom, Mark Wahlberg, and Jeff Wright. He worked with so many different people, and they still got, like the best careers. He also did a movie and executive producer in 1998 of Woo, and I was just like, yo, he also did a movie in 2004 called Time Out. I watched that movie. That was a great movie. 2006, he did Black Snake Moan. In 2007, Legal Contender, The Making of Illegal Contender. 2008, Abduction. 2011. I was just like, wow, he did so much. And he helped so many people. Beverly Hills Cop 3, he worked on 1994. Your Studio and You, 1995. Badass, 2003. Like, he worked on so much and did so much. And it's just like, damn. And Snowfall from 2017 to 2019 got so many awards. He put all them young kids on that some of us didn't even know about. I just really, truly at a loss for, John Singleton. Truly lost. Two wonderful men that we lost less than a year, Nipsey Hussle and John Singleton. Like, wow. It's just like crazy. But may he rest in peace, and may his family be at peace, and don't fight, and don't make a mockery out of his death. Solve the problem. Solve the issue. Be concerning. John Singleton left a good reputation, and family don't ruin it too as well. But if someone is illegally trying to steal and take his money, and if you rock with John Singleton and he loved you, you loved him, and he wanted you to have what you needed to have, then you fight and you do what you need to do, but do it respectfully and try to keep it out the media, and don't send stories to all these blog sites to get people on your side. Try to get public opinion. Basically, just please handle it with care, because he handled his life with care. Thank you, John Singleton. And you guys really got to check out Snowfall, especially if you don't know about the 80s and how the drug epidemic happened in LA, and how the FBI, CIA put guns in the hood for African Americans to kill each other and get high on drugs. But we also got to say, John Singleton, he was involved in a fatal car crash in LA, August 25th in 2007, but he survived, and he kept going, but there was a pedestrian killed in the accident. John Singleton, rest in power, rest in peace, my brother. Thank you for what you have done. You let us see ourselves on film, that we can be actors, that we can be actresses, that we can be somebody, that we're important, that we can go to school to study art, we can study producing, we can study directing, we can study screenwriting. There is an avenue for us, and you did that, John Singleton. Thank you.